So yeah, I am also caving into this iPad trend. But in my defense, it was on sale at the UCLA student store, so it can be viewed as a reasonable investment in my education and in my part-time work on YouTube. At least that is how I'm going to convince myself that this was not a dumb idea. Speaking of spending hundreds of dollars though, this video is sponsored by Squarespace. And now back to your regularly scheduled, satisfying peeling noises. The first two accessories I have to spotlight are the default charging accessories. Not very exciting, so let's move on to the more interesting accessories I'm sure you're here to learn about, starting with the Apple Pencil. You've likely heard of this before. It's the stylus that Apple makes themselves specifically to go with the iPad Pro. So far, I don't have any complaints. I was going to buy a grip for it just because it seems like everyone on Instagram has a cute looking grip, but I already spent so much, and I find that the pencil is already grippy and comfortable enough without adding some extra silicone layers on top. But so far I haven't used this for long periods of writing, so we'll see if my verdict changes later. The second gen pencil magnetically attaches to the side of the iPad for charging and storage. Next, I needed to, of course, protect my expensive little dude with a case. This is the rose gold case from the brand ESR. I'm not really an expert in iPad cases, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend this, although it was pretty good for the price. It just fits a little bit loosely on the long edges. But one feature I do really like is this tri-panel foldy over design that you can just magnetically click into place and it'll make this little stand for your iPad to lean on. And the side still allows the Apple Pencil to connect. For an added layer of protection, I also installed a screen protector, which was a surprisingly long process of lining up all these stickers and then wiping down the screen with an alcohol wipe and a lens cleaning cloth. And then it was finally time for the satisfying peeling process. Next to this complex engineered sticker system, I folded the screen protector over, but this was when I realized I had done goofed because you're supposed to push out all the extra air and stuff while you are installing it, instead of just plopping it all down in one flat layer filled with bubbles. Luckily, they did include this scraper tool to help me scrape out all of these air pockets to the best of my ability. I picked this matte screen protector to reduce the amount of reflectiveness on the glass screen, and to imitate the texture of paper for when I'm writing with an Apple Pencil. It's not exactly the same, but it still does feel and sound pretty awesome. Now that I've had this for about a month, here are the apps I've installed for studyquill and for school. I have Instagram. I actually use this iPad for most of my Instagram stories because its camera is way better than my antique iPhone 7. So yes, I am that grandma who uses an iPad to take photos. I also have the YouTube Studio app, which I use for editing descriptions and checking my comments, along with sometimes looking at analytics. I also have the YouTube app where I can convince myself I'm being productive for my job, but I'm just watching YouTube videos. I've got Gmail to, would you guess it, check my email. Isn't that exciting? I've also got the default Notes app and Adobe Fresco, which is a digital drawing app that's kind of like Procreate. It comes as part of an Adobe Creative Cloud subscription. Although I was really drawn to the concept of vector brushes, I just don't really like any of the brushes that are available on this app. There aren't many options, and what is available is sensitive to pressure in a way that just doesn't work with me, and I honestly can't be bothered to make it work when I have another app that works much better. We've got some default apps of FaceTime, Find My iPhone, and iMessages, along with Google Sheets, something I use for school and for personal productivity. You can't edit spreadsheets on the Safari app, which is kind of annoying, but I got this app so I can edit my spreadsheets. I also have Google Drive, which I use for a similar purpose as Sheets, and that is just to access my documents for school and for personal productivity. Next, we have GoodNotes, which is one of the note-taking apps that I'm trying out. So far, it's my favorite out of the 2 apps I've tried, since it has the features I'm looking for, like this magnification way to write, and the ability to import and edit and annotate PDFs. Also, the way that the pen styles and the notebooks and folders are organized just makes sense to me. We've got another string of default apps like Files and the App Store, and we have UCLA CCLE Mobile, which is UCLA's own version of apps like Canvas or Blackboard or Google Classroom. It's an academic platform where you can access a lot of your course materials, and I specifically installed it on my iPad so that I could download documents I need for class and annotate them in the aforementioned GoodNotes note-taking app. That way I don't have to print out anything, and instead I can just do it digitally. Anyways, imagine being able to tap on things. Next we have Notability, another note-taking app that I've been trying out. It does have a lot of the features that I'm looking for, but it's kind of organized like the Apple default Notes app, and that's an organization method that my brain just does not like, while GoodNotes is organized more like a desktop with folders and sub-files, which I definitely prefer. But Notability could be a good option if you want to record your lectures while you're writing. Next we have Google Docs. Just like Drive and Sheets, I just have this because Google makes the Safari website version of these websites just impossible to use, which I guess their marketing strategy of making me so frustrated that I download their app and let them harvest all of my data has been effective because I have done that. More default apps include Photos, Settings, Camera, and Clock. And the last app I have to mention is Procreate, the drawing and calligraphy app that I feel like I've seen everywhere. And the hype is real for a reason, let me just say. Although I haven't tried like every drawing app out there on the market, this is just ideal. I couldn't think of anything more I could want for this. The calligraphy brushes offer a just right amount of pressure sensitivity and smoothing, and you can even adjust those settings to your preference. And they have so many different options for art brushes. So those are the apps and accessories I use for school and productivity. And speaking of productivity, Squarespace is an all-in-one website building platform that can be really useful for increasing your efficiency. Whether you want to make a portfolio or personal resume website, Squarespace has templates that allow you to get started very quickly and easily. Additionally, it also makes it super easy to update or modify your portfolio, even if you have no experience in making websites. It's quick and intuitive to add images or multimedia content or captions and titles, and you don't have to worry about whether everything will look visually consistent thanks to their template themes. To get started with 10% off your first website or domain, visit the link in the description. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have other recommendations for apps or accessories that I should check out, please do leave those in the comments. I upload new videos every week, and I post photos of my notes and bullet journal, which are on paper currently, on my Instagram, which is at studyquill. See you next time!